You know what it feels like to be objectified, to be treated like a number at a company or a body and a face rather than an actual person. But what if a lot of inner work does the same thing to your own emotions? I certainly know what it feels like to be in fix it mode. Got to change every limiting belief, replace all the bad emotions with good ones. Like these are all just aspects of myself are to be changed, like they're objects. But things really started to click for me when I stopped treating emotions as things to clear and recognizing them as parts of myself that I'm like literally in a relationship with. Right? All the tools I already had started to work better, things in my life function better, and I really want that for you. So, what does this actually look like? Well, I want you to think of something you're currently, working on about yourself. That might be what you call your inner critic, a recurring feeling of deep loneliness, and even just thinking about it now, I want you to notice how easy it is to describe it and categorize it in your mind as like, oh, it's this thing I'm working on. My inner critic over there, right? It's like the sink in the other bathroom that needs fixed. That's the objectification, right? So the shift is, do I even think about this emotion as something I'm relating to, or am I treating it as something to manipulate? Right? The kind of curiosity, it's like, wait a minute, what is this experience in my body and this emotion that I'm giving the name sadness to? What's it like to actually sit and be with it right now? Why is it arising? Why does it feel the need to be here? We are not taught to think of our emotions as something we have actual relationships with. Now, parts work, which I do a lot of in my own practice, is definitely a step in the right direction. But it's easy to say, oh, there's a part of me that's sad, or there's this part of me over here, and still totally objectifying it, right? You're just cognitively labeling it, and that label can fool you into thinking you're relating when you're not. So just giving it the name or thinking in the lens of parts work does not automatically mean you are connecting, actually. Like analyzing, giving something a name, oh, I'm going to call you this and you have these characteristics, that can actually be very objectifying, right? We do this with real people all the time. Think about someone you might have worked with for a while. Like, you know information about this person, but it doesn't mean you connect with them or feel like actual warmth and curiosity just because you know like that's Phil from the marketing department, right? Now, I want you to think about if a little kid like kind of ran into the room right now and was playing with a toy and smiling and laughing, like you're probably going to smile. Right? Or if you have like a favorite type of dog and it just ran into your room right now and like jumped on your lap, this is a visceral feeling. You don't like, well, what kind of kid is that? Or like, I need to know the breed of the dog. It's not intellectual at all, right? And a little more kind of how you might interact with parts of yourself. You can imagine someone younger than you coming up to you, asking you for like advice, something you've been through in your own life, and how that kind of switches something on in you. Like, okay, you're probably going to be listening. You're probably going to be curious and engaged and like, okay, how can I help here? Right? You're making contact. They're not a problem. How do I get rid of this kid? Right? That kind of connection is very possible with your own emotions. And maybe the most important part about this is that you can feel this connection with emotions that you would normally judge as bad, like sadness or shame. And it's actually that connection to it and with it that helps it process, that helps it integrate, rather than how we often think about it, which is like, okay, I've got these things like sadness and shame. Once I clear or heal those, then I'll be like better and I'll be able to connect with people. It's actually the other way around, right? And this starts with being able to allow your emotions to be there and not assume that because I know this is sadness, or I know I have this protector part, so what do I do about it, right? That's just knowledge, and that's the objectification, is when the relationship is still, okay, I know what that thing is, how do I make that thing be different? As you practice this way of relationship, which again is felt, it's connection, you create space where these emotions, again, can actually process and integrate. So there's nuances to this, but basically every video on my channel that's a tapping or an emotional process, this is the lens I view this work through. And if you want it outlined and walked through in a little more detail, there's a free guide down below. Hope it helps, and I hope it helps your relationship with your emotions.